So we're going to look at movement in horse riding stance. Movement in any stance. The rules will always pretty much stay the same. You pivot on the ball of your foot. Use your waist to move. Yeah? So if I am in a horse riding stance here, facing into you, and I want to move, I'm going to use my waist, I'm going to come across, and I'm going to land. And when I land, my feet are parallel. Remember I said that earlier? My knees are above my toes. And when I say my knees are above my toes, I mean they're not here. So you don't have to fall forwards like this. You sit down there. Once again, I'm here. My knees are pushed out, so my shins are perpendicular. I've tucked in. I'm going to move my waist and I'm going to step through. Bang. And I do it as one movement. Okay? If we look at that in a bit more detail, we say, what have we got to concentrate on? Number one, does the height of our stance change? I've just stepped up. That's no good. Remember what I said I wanted to do was pivot around my foot. If I want to pivot, I need to get my body weight above my pivot point. If I'm standing here and I try and spin there, I can't. If I'm here, boom, it's much easier to spin, although not necessarily on carpet. So, I'm here, I'm turning my body, I've got my weight shifting above this foot, and then everything will turn and I set my foot down. Yeah? What we often see people doing is swinging their leg in a big circle, but they're not engaging up here. They're not using their waist, they're not using their body. Okay? They're just frozen and you're here. You might end up in the same place, but you're not getting there the right way. Yeah? So, you don't get a big swing. My feet are parallel, my knees are up above my toes, my bum's tucked in. I'm going to bring my knee across, and then I'm going to shift my whole body round, and I'll land. My feet are parallel, my knees are above my feet, and I'm tucked in. Okay? It's nice and simple. If you just come from here and step over to there, that's when it becomes difficult to get your feet parallel. Pivot, spin round, and when you finish spinning, you can put your foot down. Yeah? And just come to there. One thing that I'll talk about later as well, don't force anything. I'm turning my waist, I'm stepping through, and I'm landing. This is a no-no. What I don't want to see is that, because you're breaking the movement apart. That's not going to look good, is it? And if I come from here and then I go twist on this foot, no, we want to flow through it. My knees are above my toes. My toes are pointing forwards. My belt is tucked in. As I move, I step through, and it just becomes a movement of my whole body, where I allow my foot to pivot round. Moving my foot lets my body move. Moving my body helps my foot move. So everything's working together. That's not doing any hand techniques when I'm doing it, is it? That's okay. If you want to try and practice this, don't bother with your hand techniques. You don't need them to get this. Sit and think about the things. Are my feet parallel? Are my knees above my toes, or are my knees dropped in? They're pushed out, okay. My bum tucked in, or is it sitting out like that? I'm sitting in, okay. When I move, do I keep my head at the same level? Do I use my whole body? And when I land, are my feet parallel? Are my knees above my toes? And am I tucked in? Keep thinking about those same things every time you do it. So you can practice at home, you can correct yourself. It's okay to look down at home so that you don't have to look down in competitions or in class. So remember, we're pivoting on the ball of our foot, we're moving our waist, we're moving our body, and we're getting good form. We're looking at where our knees should be, where our feet should be, what angles things should be at. But when you're moving, always think about pivoting, and if you want to pivot, you need to shift your body weight and pivot round the pivot point. It really is quite easy. And that is movement and horse riding stance. You can watch the video again, you can listen to it. If you've got questions, get them sent to me, because how I understand something is not how you will understand it necessarily. I might say something and you're thinking, it makes no sense. That's okay, try it, come back to me, describe, say, well, I'm trying this and I end up with my feet out. What could be? We can work between us to see exactly what you need to do to get this nice horse riding stance. Okay, that's that done.